Hey, what is going on, everyone? In today's video, I want to cover some huge upcoming changes for Once Human, including updates to deviations, base building, social features, and a few other things. These things were announced by the developers in the official Discord, so I've linked all of those announcements in the description down below if you're interested in checking them out. Also, if you end up enjoying this video, feel free to drop a like and subscribe to help support the channel. Also, drop a comment down below and let me know what you think about these upcoming changes. Alright, so let's talk about deviations. So first off here, the developers have officially confirmed that deviations can be transferred to the next season. So they will be automatically sent to eternaland at the end of the existing season, and then at the beginning of the next season, you will be able to use material points to transfer whatever deviations you would like into the next season. So to get a little bit of a visual of this, if you actually hit escape and then head up to eternaland in the top right, you can click on shop order right here and you can get an export resources tab. You can also find this in your backpack as well. If you toggle this in the bottom right of your backpack, you can see an export resources button, and basically everything on the left here, these will be things that get automatically sent to eternaland at the end of the season. So you can see we do have a deviations tab here, so all your extra deviations will show up in this tab. And then as it says here, at the start of a new season, you will receive a certain amount of material points that can be used to transfer your supplies on eternaland to the new season. Different supplies require varying amounts of material points for the transfer. So at the start of the next season, you will see all your deviations here on the left side. You will be able to pick and choose them, and they will cost a different amount of material points. And you can see that it seems like everyone will have 20,000 material points. That's what this is right here. And then when you select those items, you will be able to send them to your season server or your main server out of eternaland into the actual server that you're playing on. The developers have also mentioned that a lot of players have expressed interest in fusing or upgrading weaker deviations into more powerful ones. So they have confirmed that this is a feature that is going to be coming in the game's next stage and is currently in the planning phase. So as we know, in your backpack here, all your extra deviations show up here, and really the only thing that we're able to do with them is sell them in eternaland for astral sand. And it's not even really that much of astral sand, so it's great to see that there is going to be a way to fuse these lower level deviations together or use them to upgrade other deviations to be more powerful. So it's great that they're going to be implementing this system. This is actually something I've seen a ton of players request, and it was even something I mentioned in one of my recent videos. So it's great to see that they're addressing this. I would love to know what you think about especially these two things here with deviations. These first two have been highly requested, and I would love to know your feedback in the comments below. The developers have also confirmed that they will be introducing a guarantee system for deviations. So they've heard concerns regarding the difficulty in locating specific deviations. As we know, it can be very frustrating getting some of these low drop, rare deviations. So they're going to be introducing this guarantee system, and they say it's going to be coming soon. I'm not really sure what this is going to look like. I'm not sure if this means that this is just going to be a quest line similar to Lowe's quest where you're guaranteed to get certain deviations, and maybe this will be for some of the rarer ones. I don't know if this is really going to look like something else, but it's very exciting to see that they're going to be introducing this guarantee system. They've also had a lot of feedback from players asking to have multiple deviations at once, and they say they don't plan on allowing players to carry multiple deviations at once, and it's mainly because having multiple deviations really complicates things in the game because the game is really built around having one deviation. So they encourage you to just, choose wisely when you're going out to do certain things, and it's just something that they don't have planned currently. They did say that they are considering incorporating a new feature, though, regarding Rain Man's watering ability and allowing you to select specific patches of ground for Rain Man to water. Also, regarding the number of securement units you can have at your base, the limit is currently 20, and they believe that this should suffice for most players. However, they will be introducing unique securement units in the future, and they'll be sharing some more details on that soon. So perhaps this 20 securement unit limit is only going to apply to these base securement units, and maybe these unique ones that we'll be able to get will basically allow us to have more deviations at our base. And the final deviation update that I am very excited to see is that they have received a lot of reports of deviations pushing players off of roofs due to hitboxes and collision detection, and they're working on a fix to rectify this issue. That is great because a lot of the times when I'm going up these stairs here, I have a lot of deviations coming down and they will just knock me right off of these stairs. So it's great to see that they're addressing this because honestly, you should always have right of way at your territory anyway. The deviations shouldn't really get right of way as it currently is. All right, so now let's talk about some construction and base building updates that will be coming to the game. So first off, let's talk about wires and pipes. So they've received some feedback that the only way to actually reconnect a wire or pipe is just to demolish the entire thing. So they're going to be soon simplifying the interface for managing wires and pipes, and hopefully that allows us to just disconnect a wire or pipe from a specific endpoint and just reconnect it somewhere else, rather than actually having to destroy an entire wire or pipe to do so. They're also going to be adding flow direction indicators to the actual water devices here. So I know we have them currently for the pipes, but in terms of the filters and the water tanks here, they're going to be introducing for all those sort of water devices like that, actual flow indicators for the liquid going through. And the largest update for water pipes is they are going to be changing water pipes to be general pipes that are capable of transporting oil and impure acid. So as we know currently, in order to actually turn impure acid into acid, you need to manually place the impure acid in a brewing barrel, and you can't actually just use a pipe that pumps it right in there. So that will be changing. You will be able to actually just automatically get acid without actually having to manually place things in the brewing barrel. And same goes for the oil that you can get. You will be able to pump those directly through pipes. They also did talk about raising the overall construction limit for building your base. As we know, some people have already hit the limit for structures and all the other limits that you can have at your base, but they've actually said that there are technical constraints related to the game's open world that basically make it required to have certain limits, but they do encourage people to go into eternaland where you don't have any limits and you can build as freely as you would like to. They've also talked about the difficulty that players have had with actually snapping roofs and stairs together. As we know, the snapping in the game isn't perfect, so they're actually going to be introducing a grid alignment system that's currently in the works, and it will be released within the month, which is really exciting. So we're not entirely sure what this is going to look like, but I imagine it will just make it easier to snap things together overall. So really excited to see this because I've seen a lot of player feedback about the frustrations with actually snapping a lot of these pieces together. Also, they did talk about fish tanks as well, and they will soon be adding the ability to have multiple fish per fish tank, which is really exciting because it does seem a little odd, especially having a smaller fish in a fish tank. Why can't I add more of them in there? So they're going to be going ahead and adding that ability. And also, there is a bug currently where others cannot see your fish in your fish tank, so they will be addressing that. And they've also said that they will be introducing new types of fish tanks in the game in the future. They'll also be making some updates to the agricultural system in the game, specifically for the automatic irrigation system, as well as the grow lights here. And basically, they're just going to make it clearer of kind of the range and cost for these two systems so that you can more easily see all the different planter boxes that can get affected by a grow light and the automatic irrigation. I know you're kind of able to figure this out in the game anyway through some trial and error, but it'll just be nice to have that kind of front and center. All right, getting into some more things that aren't related to the base building or deviations, the developers have received a good amount of feedback about trading in the game and the need for a trading channel, a text channel here on the left side, but they've actually said they don't have that planned, but what they do have planned is they are developing an AI that can filter trading messages in all the different channels, and then you will be able to have individual preferences on those sort of messages. So if you want to completely filter out trading messages from these channels, you will be able to do so, or if you just want to see trading requests, you will be able to filter those as well. So very interesting that they're going to be using an AI for this. I'm curious to see kind of how well it works, but it's great that they're addressing it. They've also talked about the need for for showcasing and discussing gear with other players. So currently there's not really a way to walk up to a player or find a player in a friends list or a menu and see what gear they have equipped. So they are going to be looking at this in the future, and they're going to consider implementing that feature, but it just doesn't seem like it's high priority right now. But I always think of Destiny in this way. It's always cool to just kind of click on a player, go to their profile, and see what gear they have equipped, especially if they look really cool. So I hope they add this feature sooner than later, because it always interests me to see what kind of gear people are running. They also talked about the team up system that they have in the game, and they're going to be optimizing it to also show the player's world, as right now it's kind of a little bit inconvenient when you actually don't know which world your teammates are on. So that is a great little quality of life update there. And also they did mention that a lot of players might not be aware of it, but the game already supports forming cross-server teams. So they're soon going to improve the guides and tips to better inform players about this feature. And I think that's great, because honestly, I am not 100% sure how it works either, but I am excited for them to kind of add that in and just make it a little bit more clear. I know that if you hit F1, you can have a cross-server friends list, so it makes sense that you're also able to team up with players that are on other servers. They are also planning to enable private chats between players regardless of your friend status. So this just makes it easier to communicate with people that maybe you just found in game that you're like just want to party up with or just want to talk to. Now, in my recent video, I did talk about having a local chat in the game. So I don't know if this is really acting as that, as a local chat can be seen by anyone kind of in your local area. But this is a good improvement overall, because there's definitely been times where I do want to message someone specifically, but I don't necessarily want to add them as a friend, especially since my friends list is maxed out at the moment. It's kind of impossible for me to really do that. So I'm glad they're going to be introducing these private chats. They're also going to be making some updates to vehicle access permissions. So they said that they're going to be making them more modular soon. I'm not 100% sure what that's going to end up looking like, but it would be great to be able to give your hive mates at least access to your vehicles, because I believe right now the only person that can actually use your vehicles is you. So it would be definitely great to kind of have more options there so that our hive mates can use these vehicles. And also, two other things that they said they don't have planned is they don't plan to change the player capacity of warbands and hives. So if I go right here and I head over to our warband here, we are maxed out at 50 members right here. I would love to see for them to increase at least the warband capacity. I think 50 members is way too small, especially since I feel like eventually they're going to be having a lot more people on these servers once they open them up. I just feel like 50 is just too small for something that is like a guild basically in the game. But they do say that they will reconsider this in future scenarios, as each scenario will have unique gameplay rules. So I'm hoping they at least increase the limit for warband. I don't really mind only having 8 people in a hive, but I could see why people might want more than that. So hopefully they end up increasing this in the future. But like they said, they currently have no plans to do so. And the last thing they mentioned is they don't plan to implement a shared vending machine permission system. So you won't be able to share your vending machines with your friends, or access to them, I should say, in terms of like placing items in the vending machine and setting prices. Of course, your friends can use your vending machine, but in terms of actually managing it, they're not planning on doing so, which I think is fine. Honestly, I think this entire vending machine and sort of trading system just needs a revamp in general, which is what I mentioned in a previous video. So hopefully they're looking at doing that. Because I just think it's really needed. And there you have it, folks. There are the upcoming changes that we can expect regarding deviations, base building, and a few other things in Once Human. I would love to know, what do you think about all these? Leave a comment down below. I'd love to get that discussion started. And also, if you did enjoy the video, be sure to like and subscribe to help support the channel. And feel free to join our Discord community as well. We've got a ton of players in there, and a lot of this feedback that we actually talked about in the video today was stuff that we've been talking about in our Discord for weeks now. So definitely join the Discord, link down in the description below. But thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.